Hey guys, it's time for the August Q&A, Slopes Game Room's August Q&A. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Sorry again, this one has been a little bit late coming out. In fact, it's probably only going to be, what, 2.5 weeks if I'm on time for the next one. But regardless, this is the Q&A. I've been a bit crazy just doing other videos, in all honesty. There's a cat on the slide outside. Anyway, I'm not joking, there genuinely is one. But anyway, right. Yes, I've got 6 questions to answer. Well, 6 people have asked questions. We'll see how many there are. From my patrons. If you want to be part of the Patreon list asking questions that I would answer on camera like this, get your name shouted out, all that sort of stuff, then check the link in the top of the description. I might put something on the screen, perhaps. There'll be a card. That side, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Question number 1 from QnA Chapman, and he asks, are there any films you are looking forward to seeing later this year, assuming you can find time to escape now that you've got another baby to mind? I still haven't actually seen Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm a big Marvel fan. I haven't seen that film yet, so Marvel films are always going to be ones that I want to watch. There you go, look at that. Yeah, I'm always a big fan of checking out those ones. I haven't seen it yet either, so I do want to see that film. There's another film, there's a horror film, which, in all honesty, it looks a little bit naff, I suppose, but good junk horror film watching. It's called 12 Feet Under. I think it's called 12 Feet Under. There'll be some trailer of it playing somewhere on the screen, no doubt, about some people that get stuck in a swimming pool and the lid goes over. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm up for watching it. There's a lot of old films that are still on my to watch list, which I do need to watch. I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, actually. I do need to see Wonder Woman. That looks pretty damn good. I'm not normally a big fan of the DC movies, but I'm hearing good things about that one. I do need to see Wonder Woman. What else? I missed Ghost in the Shell. Probably should go and watch that, although, yeah. Oh, what am I talking about? Isn't Coco coming out this year? And Cars 3, there you go. A couple of Pixar movies that I've not seen yet. I want to see those. There you go. There's my answer. All of that. Question number 2 from Tim Levante of Standstill Pictures. Fantastic YouTube channel, by the way. Do these pretty quirky documentaries. I'll put a link somewhere. Go check that out. Really, really good. And he asks, loaded question. In college, I got back into retro gaming mainly because of emulation, but even then, I could still snag A-list games on eBay or shops for $5. Do you think retro games would be a dud today if it wasn't for access to ROMs? And if not, do you think the nostalgia bug would have still kicked in? Okay, yeah, good example. I'm looking for a really good, nice, complete copy of Super Metroid. I would never in my wildest dreams have ever played that game if I didn't play it on emulation first. And although I will say that was actually one that I downloaded on the Wii U, so it's not, like PC emulation or, phone emulation, whatever. So yeah, in that instance, it definitely does work. Nowadays with retro games, either costing there or thereabouts the same price as new games, in some cases, way more, like I say, Super Metroid. I think people trial and run them a lot more because of emulation. So yes, I do think it's helped. It's so, it's not only easy just to find one game, it's very easy just to, download the entire ROM set of, like the Mega Drive, the SNES, PC Engine, whatever. So yes, that is definitely the reason why everything's shot up, I believe. Especially things like the PC Engine. I mean, I'm not too up for spending, what, 80, 90 quid plus, probably even hundreds of pounds for games that are alright. You know what I mean? There are a lot of alright games and I don't want to spend hundreds on them. So yeah, emulation sadly is the way to go in that instance. I feel like the best emulation you could possibly get, or like the furthest I'll ever go, is obviously getting one of those like flash carts for the Mega Drive and PC Engine, whatever. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the footage, some of the footage that I capture for my videos are pretty much all done by emulation. It's just, one, it's a hell of a lot easier than having to faff around with everything and, find I do a complete history on a franchise and I buy every game, that's going to cost me probably thousands in some cases. So one, it's because of the cost, in all honesty, and two, it's just going to always look better when you emulate something to put up on YouTube. I know there are people out there that will deny that, but I personally think I want games to look the best they possibly can, rather than trying to make them look a little bit worse because that's how we used to play them. Yeah, you understand. I mean, like I said, everyone's got their opinion. That's mine. I went off a little bit there off the question that was asked. Yes, I do think emulation has helped with the big boom that is retro gaming. Question number 3 from Creamy Elephant, or Jack. Creamy Elephant, the #1 person in my Discord channel, by the way, and if you are a member of my patrons already, go over to the Discord channel, share all the stuff that you guys create. It's a really good place, regardless. He's the #1 person on my Discord chat. He talks so much, he's a really cool guy. He says, since you've opened your channel, has there been any video or discussion relating to it that you have regretted or would have done differently? Obviously, my random history playlist of videos, everything got basically chucked in there instead of other than the odd, things I actually did call complete history. I think I called one the complete story randomly. I think you'll find that out when it starts. But yeah, there are certain ones. So for instance, here's a good one. The Zombies Ate My Neighbours one. That could have just been Zombies Ate My Neighbours, the complete history, and a lot more people would have watched that, rather than calling it Zombies Ate My Neighbours. Was a trilogy, So yeah, I mean, I would have named things differently, perhaps in that, I done one on Jack the Nipper and Zool, which was in the Gremlin one. That's actually the oldest video on my channel. That's not my first, that's the oldest one on my channel. I would have perhaps liked to look at the complete history of Zool, because the reason I do this complete history is I want to find everything I possibly can out about a particular franchise and just make the video. And obviously when I did a video where I talk a little bit about Gremlin, talk a little bit about Zool, talk a little bit about Jack the Nipper, I'm not going as in depth as I perhaps would like to nowadays. So yeah, with that said, I mean, I've got no worry in a few years' time doing what Kim Justice does and just basically remaking the videos again, and putting the new spin, the new way you create your videos onto it. So making a 30-minute video about Zool rather than a 10-minute video just mentioning him. So yeah, that's the only thing that I would probably change from my old videos. With that said, I've never put out a video that I'm not happy with. I've done a couple of unboxings. Perhaps I probably should have put a little bit more effort in the real early days. But I was still finding my feet back then. I didn't know what sort of YouTuber I was going to be. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I'd change. It's not anything big like Some Call Me Johnny would do, where he'd just grab all of his videos that he wasn't happy with and literally just delete them. He claims he doesn't even own them anymore. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. He's a good YouTuber. Got rid of them all and redone them all. Obviously, like I say again, in crazy more depth. So I would never do that. But yeah, I'm happy with what I've put out. And yeah, obviously I would change things a little bit differently just because I've learned to become a better YouTuber, in my eyes at least. Yes. Question number 4 from Phil Lowlins, aka Kid Chameleon UK on SoundCloud. There'll be a link somewhere or something up on the screen for that. He asks a couple of questions. Number 1. Who is your favourite DJ? Growing up, I would have said Mr. Hun. I don't know why. I was just very into Linkin Park. Rip Chester Bennington. Ooh. Yeah, so Mr. Hun, but no, in all honesty, the best DJs are people that literally use their turntables as instruments, doing things that I could never do. DJ Yoda is definitely one of them. I'm a massive fan of Crafty Cuts. I mean, obviously these are cut and paste mixtapes that they make, but I love them. Mixmaster Mike from the Beastie Boys. That Hello Nasty album is like, he put so much effort into that from the DJ's point of view, and I think that was the first album he may have worked on. I might be wrong, but with them, yeah. So they're probably my favourite DJs. There are some crazy DJs that have come along in like the DMC championships. So maybe maybe there's a few that I've missed. There was a crazy Sega turntablist that was doing some pretty nifty stuff that I wouldn't say he's my favourite, but he's up there. And obviously with nowadays everything moving a little bit more digital away from this turntablism stuff. I mean, some of the best shows I've been to are people like when I go see Skrillex. I mean, DJ shows I've been to. I go and see Skrillex. I saw Square Pusher. He was pretty incredible with his bass guitar, but that's I suppose not DJing. You know, they put on great shows, and you know, they're good DJs. You could class that sort of stuff as DJs, like Jaguar Skills, all that sort of thing. So yeah, there's quite a few there. I don't know if I could name the one, if I'm honest. Yeah, let's go with DJ Yoda. Yeah, let's do DJ Yoda. I'm probably going to forget one and then remember it as soon as I'm off camera, but yeah, DJ Yoda, that's the one that's coming up at the top of my head. He did ask another question. Number 2. Would you like to see the team who did Sonic Mania do some other Mega Drive classics in the same way? Yeah, I mean, I don't want them to redo the Sonic games. I mean, there was actually a trailer I saw pop up on my Facebook this morning for Sonic 2 HD, which, you know, still isn't complete. Look, let the fans make the remakes. I'm just up for the Sonic Mania team just to go and make another Sonic Mania with new levels. I don't mind throwing the odd like throwback in there like they did with the, spoiler alert, Mean Bean Machine things, all that sort of stuff, all the little cameos and the little snippets of old characters and stuff. But I would like a whole new Sonic Mania game with new levels. Keep it roughly the same length. I'm cool with that, and I would pay top dollar and pay the full price game for that. Although they wouldn't do that because Sega would shoot themselves in the foot big time if they released the game and charged 40, 50, 60 quid or whatever for a Sonic Mania type game. Although I would literally have no problem buying that game, absolutely. Go and find the Beats of Rage, Streets of Rage remake people and get them to make Streets of Rage. That's the obvious answer in a big way, but then obviously from there you can go along and make a Golden Axe, make an Alien Storm. I would love to see another Alien Storm. Oh my god, yes, Alien Storm. I mean, Outrun was done, and I actually think the Outrun sequels were good, I actually think Sega Rally was pretty good at very, very different type of game, but yeah, I like the Sega Rally games on the 360 and what have you. What other classic ones would I like to see? Gunstar Heroes, I suppose, got a sequel. Let me think. I'll tell you what, moving away from Sega, I would actually love to see Dizzy come back. That Kickstarter didn't get made, obviously because there was no gameplay footage. It was the biggest problem with that Kickstarter. I would love to see that be remade, you know, a big sequel to those classic old school Amstrad, that's what I played them on, Dizzy games. Someone, Oliver Twins, go and make that. Question number 5 from new Patreon Mike Waldron, and he asks, what are your favourite PlayStation 2 hidden gems? Okay, it looks like he's asked a few actually. PlayStation 2 hidden gems. Honestly, most of the time when I buy games, I used to, you know, I was obsessed with going online. By that point, I was online a fair bit, I suppose. Definitely buying a lot of magazines. So a lot of the games I played were like the real obvious ones. You know, the SSX Tricky. That's probably one of the greatest games on the PlayStation 2. But ones that come to mind was Hurdy-Gurdy, Dog's Life. Is it a Dog's Life or The Dog's Life? That was quite a lot of fun. Isn't there a 2-player game that's quite cool called Kuri Kuri Mix? I think that's what it's called. That was a bloody good game. They're the 3 that come to mind, if I'm honest. I don't know why I had so much fun with Kuri Kuri Mix. It's quite a basic game that you'll probably find a better version of a similar style on Steam for 99p or something by some indie developer. But yeah, I was quite into that. Hurdy-Gurdy, I think that had some classic Disney animators maybe on it. I might be wrong, but I believe it did. Great looking game regardless. Oh my god, what else? You know, I'll quick look in the cupboard, one sec. Back again, yeah, other than the real obvious ones, which is pretty much the majority of my PlayStation 2 collection. And none of these are obscure or rare or hidden gems, I suppose, but these were ones I had a lot of fun playing, that not as many people bring up, but Fantavision, probably the first game I got, maybe? Yeah, Fantavision. Stuntman, and obviously that Stuntman sequel. The sequel was on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, I believe. It's crazy considering it was basically the engine of Driver 3, which was a pretty awful game, although impressive. And yeah, I loved Stuntman. Destroy All Humans, pretty basic, and I think you can get a better version, a HD version of this now, but that's a good game. And Cell Damage Overdrive, although honestly I just picked this up at the boot fair. I've never played it because I played this one on the Dreamcast a lot more. And again, I think that's actually in HD now. You can get this in HD. And Aqua Wet Tricks 2. Spent a silly amount of time on that game, I don't know why. It's okay, but yeah, they're the ones I like playing, I suppose. I hope that answers your question. Or at least one of your questions, because you had more, didn't you? Sorry. He also asks, do you ever mix your DJing with gaming? Now, I used to actually, when I was in a place called the R Bar, loved that place. This bar, there was 2 bars called the R Bar, one in Gravesend and one in Maidstone near where I live. And the Maidstone one, we had a night called the Arcade, as in R Bar, Arcade, whatever. And that was all very heavy electronic music, primarily. It would end the night normally on a bit of drum and bassy, dubstep style stuff. But during the day, I would definitely, every so often you'd hear a little bit of snippet, not often, only a few times a night. There'd be like little snippets of classic arcade games or something in there. I mean, sometimes there were the obvious things like Tetris before it goes bang into some dubstep drop or something. But yeah, it's not uncommon. You would hear a tiny bit of, what's it called, Straight On from Streets of Rage 2, just a little bit before it goes back into some, you know, popular electronic tune. Yeah, I did that a little bit every so often. We did actually say on our flyers that we played a little bit of chiptune to, you know, like push that brand of arcade. So yeah, we did sometimes. However, I am actually working on an hour-long mix. It's going to be a mashup mix. It's not going to be a live mix. Entirely made of video game music. Whether I make it remixed with, you know, big thumping bass lines behind it or stuff, or if I just keep it original, I don't know. But I am working on something. It's one of those things that's going to take me a very long time, and you know, maybe for New Year's Eve I'll do a big, you know, 1 hour countdown to midnight mix for my channel. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. I'm always trying to think of new ideas. Is that the sort of thing you'd be interested in? Let me know in the comment section. And Mike also asks another question: will you be attending any UK Comic Cons this year, like the Birmingham MCM? Birmingham right now for me is a little bit too far to go, leaving the wife with the 2 kids. It's probably a bit too, I don't want to be going up against her if I'm going to be doing something like that. However, I think there's a Comic-Con happening next month in London, as of the making of this. Oh, September, October time I think it is, in London, the London Comic-Con. Although I don't know how people find out information about these events, because you look on there and there's nothing. I was gutted I missed Rezzed this year, so I'm going to definitely be doing Rezzed next year. I mean, if people could definitely tell me when these events are happening, because most of the time I find out about them when it's far too late and that's happening this weekend, I've got plans, or you know, it already happened. So the only one that I'm possibly going to attend is the London Comic Con. If I do, maybe I'll do a little show reel or something and put it up on the second channel, the Extra Slope channel, which has not had a video on it forever, although it's still gaining an alright amount of subs considering. Maybe I'll put something on there, but at the moment I haven't got any solid plans. I would like to, but it's a little bit hard for me to get out of the house and be that nasty husband that leaves the wife with a 2-year-old and a 6-week-old. Bloody hell, yeah, there you go. And finally, question number 6, who's asked me not to give her name out. Yeah, I don't think she wants me to give her name out. I'm sorry if you did. I'll put it in the comments if you comment on this, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yes, she asks, what are your thoughts on the new 3D Sonic, which I believe is called Sonic Forces? I've got it coming. There's not much else to say. I mean, it's going to be all right. Everyone seemed to absolutely lose their mind with Sonic Generations. And yes, I did play it through. I completed it. It was a 7 out of 10 game for me. I quite enjoyed it. It was just one of those things. It's very hard. I mean, you always trick yourself. This is how I found it. You always trick yourself to like a Sonic game more than you actually do like it, or at least this is how I feel. You always end up tricking yourself. No, it is actually good. And I even remember doing that with Sonic 06, for God's sake, you know. I would argue some of those Wii games that everyone hates, like the Black Knight and stuff, are actually okay games. I fully played through those games. I didn't have any problems. I think it was the Black Knight that was the sequel to the, yeah, it was the sequel to the Secret Rings. Secret Rings was a tad more hard to control with the weird driving, you know, control mechanism that you had to play with. But Sonic Generations was that's 7 out of 10, because I tell you what, the 3D Sonic bits in the 3D Sonic games are just so much better than when it goes 2D, because all I want to play when it goes 2D is a game like Sonic Mania, which is a 10 out of 10 game in my eyes. But the 2D sections in Sonic Generations, and I'm assuming Force is going to be the same, it just looks, they just don't feel exactly right. They feel very floaty. I mean, obviously they're not as bad as Sonic 4, you know, and even that game is alright. It definitely doesn't deserve the hate it gets. It's an alright game. It's just completely forgettable. That's its problem. And I just feel Sonic Forces is going to be pretty much the same as Sonic Generations. In fact, I don't know why they didn't call it Sonic Generations 2. The bloody idiots for not doing that. I couldn't give two craps about the create your own character furry loving, you know, mode that they've added on there. Not for me in the slightest. If it's for you, fair enough, but not for me. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be one of those things. If Mania hadn't come out, I'd be probably a little bit more excited about it. But I mean, I've got it coming for like 25, 27 quid, I think it was. I found it on some website that was charging that much. So I mean, I'm happy with that. It's gonna be a good 25 quid game. But the 3D Sonic games, apart from the original Sonic Adventure, which obviously is now dated quite severely, are all a little bit, that was pretty good. You know, that's about it. Just make as many Sonic Manias. Just stop making games, Sega, and just give me every Sonic Mania, a new Sonic Mania every single 6 months or so. That's all I want. Yeah, I mean, if Sonic Forces was just the 3D without the 2D sections, which is crazy for a retro guy to say, but yeah, I prefer the 3D sections in those 3D Sonic games than the 2D ones. Maybe I'm alone, but yeah, whatever. I am happy that they're going to be making new levels. I hope they're not all destruction looking like. I hope they're actually some nice cutesy looking levels, because, you know, you always think of Green Hill Zone or Mushroom Hill Zone or whatever it's called when you think of Sonic, and I don't want it all to be just explosions or what have you. But yeah, there you go. It's going to be alright. And there you go, guys. There is the August Q&A. I am so sorry it's taken, what, like 2 weeks into into this month to actually get that video out. Regardless, I'm going to try and make sure I'm on time with the next Q&A. And it was my fault a little bit, because I forgot to put up the questionnaire for people to fill in on my Patreon until like about a week before the end. And I was like, oh my god, someone please fill it in. If you are a patron, go over to my Patreon page now, and you will see the questionnaire is open for the next Q&A, and I'll try and make them more on time. But come on, I'm making proper big videos, and I've got another one coming out tomorrow. Yes, so yeah, that's the only thing that's holding me up, in all honesty, which isn't a bad thing, let's be honest. Now, if you are not a patron of mine, you know, please consider becoming one. Regardless, I really do appreciate everyone that, you know, shares my content or likes my content, comments on my content, or just watches my content. You know, I make these videos for as many people to see them as possible, and that is the biggest reward. And if you do like what I make, then you can go over to my Patreon and tip me, because that's the way everyone puts it, isn't it? It's like a tipping service. So if you want to tip me and see all of the crazy rewards that you could possibly get, including the slope crates, which people have started receiving now, then yes, go and check it out. Links in the description, top comment, card, whichever way that pops up. Yeah, I do appreciate it, all of your support regardless, and yeah, especially my Patreons, so thank you all so much. But until, I suppose that's it. Yes, that's probably it. Like I say, new video coming up tomorrow, Sega's answer to Pokemon. What could it be? What could it be? Yes, okay, so guys, thank you all so much for watching my content, supporting me however way you do it, and yeah, until next time, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Said that around the wrong way. Bye.